change. And that is the nature of the kingdom of God, the great economy. It comes imperceptibly. It comes from the bottom. Because the rich aren't going to let go of their riches. The powerful, the media barons, aren't going to tell these kind of stories. And so these stories begin to subvert. They begin to be yeast in the mix, to begin and create a change. So slow change and patience. So Jesus, on the cross, exposes the domination system for what it is. He draws out the violence that is at the heart of the domination system, so it can be seen for what it really is. And there's a classic passage which these guys acted out, that Pilate and Herod, the kind of puppet Jewish king in the pockets of Rome, with the whole aristocracy, and particularly the Sadducees, who were benefiting very nicely from empire, thank you. And Pilate, the Roman governor, up until that day had been enemies. And they become friends. Because the scapegoat, Jesus, has borne the violence that was between them. And there's an amazing thing that happens. You think that's God. This peace that's come because we put violence over there, hey, it's gone. It must be God. God must have accepted our sacrifice. Peace is restored. But the problem with it is we constantly need new scapegoats. And we were talking today, because of the subject matter of yesterday, that the scapegoat of Europe probably at the moment is asylum, people seeking asylum, and the foreigner, and the other, the Muslim. We do it all the time. All the blooming time. So violence is revealed as the lie it is. God doesn't demand sacrifice, but takes the place of the sacrificed. Paul follows this through. He says, when I came to you in weakness. Because that's how we engage the powers. In weakness. In vulnerability. A writer called James Allison, who's a student of Girard, says this, that in Jesus quite a different power was coming, scarcely noticeably, in the midst of all that power, weaning us off our addiction that makes that power possible. Jesus was so powerful, he was able to lose in the battle of the powers. He did not need to win at their game. And Allison tells he uses a little metaphor of I love playing tennis. And when I was teaching my kids tennis, I probably got it very wrong. But what he said, if I was teaching my kids tennis as little kids, and I was determined to beat them every time, that would be kind of not very nice parenting and not very caring or loving. So what I might do is nearly let them win. So that just to keep them coming on, so that they would learn to win. What would be actually a much more powerful thing to do would be for me to lose. Because then they wouldn't play tennis to win, they would play tennis to play. And Allison uses that metaphor for what Jesus was doing. Enabling us all to play in life, including Pilate and Herod and his executioners. Because he's not playing that game. He's not dealing with power on power's terms. He's dealing with another kind of power. He's working with another kind of power. So a victory over someone is no victory at all, but a sign that all there is in the universe is conflict and comparative strength. From the viewpoint of the powerful loser, victory is and can only be reconciliation, the creation of a new we. Okay, so how does this play this out in practice? How do we begin to live this out? And Wink uses three illustrations that are quite famous, and some of you may have heard these before. So in Matthew 5:39, Jesus says, do not resist an evildoer. In other words, let me put your hand up. just like that. What happens when I pushed against you?
I started pushing back.
Yeah. So violence spirals. If we use violence, Martin Luther King's thing, it's just a spiral which eventually will destroy us all. And so Jesus' third way, when he's saying do not resist an evildoer, he's saying don't resist an evildoer in those terms. It does not mean that we become passive doormats and let the oppression or those forces of power override us. And the three things that Jesus talks about are turn the other cheek. If somebody strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the left also. Well, isn't that just being a doormat and letting the powers just have their way? Does anybody know why that isn't the case?
Because you choose to give them the opportunity to hit you on the face, on the cheek as well.
So you're seizing back the initiative, yeah, but there's something else about the right and the left.
Just hit with your other hand.
So, do you want to act it out?
Yeah.
Who do you want to choose as your victim?
Sorry, what?
Who do you want to choose as your victim?
Choose the next one.
Yeah, if you're going to act it out.
Choose one of them.
Yeah, do that.
I'll do it.
Let violence win.
Okay, so what are we doing here?
He loves it.
You're going down. Okay, so I hit him with my right hand.
Yeah, but you've got to hit him on the right cheek with your right hand. So how do you do that?
On his right cheek
Yeah.
with my right hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you going to do that?
Like that.
No, don't turn around. Just be hit. Okay. What is it about that kind of strike? Anybody know? It's how what? It's how what?
It's more humiliating a bit, right?
Yeah, it's humiliating. And in the culture, it was the way that a master would hit a slave, or a soldier would hit a Palestinian, because it's I'm not your equal.
So,
Turn the other cheek.
that's what it is.
Yeah. How are you going to hit?
Bam.
Well, that's because you're a woman. You're going to hit like that, maybe. But if you're a man, how would you hit? Yeah. Go on, really hit.
All right, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So only equals will fight with their fists.
Okay.
Jesus is telling an incredibly subversive story. He's saying when somebody treats you as an inferior, you are not inferior. Do not believe that lie which is so hardwired in you that you are inferior. You are not. But don't resist. Don't use violence. Show this person up. Or show this person their own lack of humanity in treating you as an inferior. Because now you either have to hit him or you have to see him as an equal. If your debtor, if the person you owe money to demands of you your cloak, give him your shirt also. What are you going to do if you take your shirt off? Frank, what are you going to be?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. In South Africa, true story, the South African armed forces surround a township ready to bulldoze it. And the women come out of the township stripped naked and say, if you're going to take our houses, we have nothing. Take our clothes as well. And they were so ashamed because many of those forces were strong Christians. They were so ashamed by the nudity, nakedness of the women who were opposing them, they just went away. And the third one, go the second mile. If a Roman soldier asks you to carry his pack a mile, go the second mile. Roman soldiers had a right to demand of their the people they were occupying, the nation they were occupying, that an occupied person should carry their pack for a mile, but no more. Because Rome is the foundation of all our civilization and laws, after all. I suspect Dutch law actually particularly founded on Roman law. I know British law was. So we're not talking about things that are through and through evil. This is good stuff. And the law was you can only make them carry it for a mile. Now you imagine, you've got a Roman soldier, says to a Palestinian along the road. Here's my pack. The Palestinian takes it. And after a mile, the soldier says, okay, give me my pack back. No, I'm going to carry it another mile. No, give me my pack back. No, I want to carry it further for you. Give me my pack back. And the soldier starts chasing the Palestinian. Who's shown up? So when Jesus talks about resistance, he talks about creative resistance, the point being that you can never do that twice.